Hi, Silan.
Yes.
When you talk about the triple P's, people not to take care of people and everything, I remember this store, the online store Shein. So there was a rumor about the Shein not taking care of its people, not giving them enough time to rest, and then paying them uh low wages. So, but companies like that, can they be sued or anything? Because I don't see anything happening.
Happen about it, but the more media coverage that it can get. Remember, we have a lot of organizations, we have ILO, the International Labor Organization. Their job is, remember, they're across the globe. So their job is to look at these things. So sometimes, it takes the arm of the law a little long to turn, but ultimately it will. If you'll remember the example of Nike, Nike was making techies in sweatshops, in certain parts of Asia using children. That's where the name sweatshop came out. And it took them years. It took them years before Nike was discovered. And Nike had to pay huge fines, for what they did. So yes, it may take time, but ultimately, and especially now we're living in a world where, the media, social media, somebody has to put it in Facebook and then it goes viral. And then eventually people will find out about this. Yeah. Does that answer your question,
Yeah,
Bulani?
no, it answers my question. Thank you. I'll use this case study when I come across it on my exam paper.
Do that. And there's numerous, you just gotta, sadly, we did benchmarking today, but for bad benchmarking, go and Google the clothing factories in Bangladesh, and you'll be horrified to know the conditions under which workers work in Bangladesh. It'll make you tear. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll also do that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, let's try and hear from Nosipo. Nosipo, either you or Notando, let's hear your voice before we close.
My only question.
Okay, we've got two. That's excellent. Let's start with who have we got there? All right, Nosipo, let's start with you.
Oh, all right. I wanted to ask about the assignment. You said it's on the 24th. Has it been issued to us? I haven't noticed anything.
Yeah, Truman did confirm that
Okay.
it's out.
Sorry, Stylen. Let me just take that. So, no. The assignment I was referring to earlier was the supply chain management module.
Okay.
Yes, the marked assignments have been retained. The results will be released during the week. So for this module specifically, the assignment is going to be released. I was told Tuesday, this coming week. So it's only due on the 24th of June.
All right. Thank you, Trina.
All right. Pleasure. Sorry, Stylen, you can continue with the questions.
All right, cool, man. Apart from that, anything else from your side, Nosipo, before we move on to Notando?
No, that is all. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Nosipo.
Yes, there was that as well on my side, but also with preparing for exams. If you don't have the key books that are written there on the reading list, which other recommended book would you say we should look at? Because I think there's quite a few.
Roman, you want to answer that?
Well, like in any curriculum, or should I say, especially when it comes to supply chain, there's tons and tons of prescribed books that we've recommended in the past, but maybe for simplicity purposes, I think this was also mentioned in the management module, which was the first module, that the prescribed textbooks that are in your current material, those are more than sufficient, not just for your exams, but even in terms of grasping whatever it is that you were supposed to cover in that particular module, and ultimately for the entire program. So if there's additional material that we can basically share with you, that would just be additional reading, so to speak. It has nothing to do with the exams or whatever that you'll be covering throughout this program. So there is a list that we can share for those that are interested in expanding your knowledge outside of the curriculum of this program. There's certainly a couple of books that we can recommend, because we've got several programs that we're running with, and they all come with different prescribed material as well as the recommended reading. So we can certainly share those. I know it's a long-winded response, but yeah, basically whatever you see in your material, that is more than sufficient. Anything over and above that, you can explore other books that you may have at your disposal or that might be suggested by other people, for as long as it's relevant material. That's certainly up to you. Yep.
Thanks.
All right.
But Notanda, you do have access to the reading material on the classroom, on the Google Classroom, eh?
Yes, I do on Teachables, right?
Yes, Teachable.
Yeah.
Teachable. I know Silen is part of the old crew. You're still referring to Google Classroom. Yes, but I know there are people that might have started with Google Classroom. So the same material that Silen is referring to is also available on Teachable. So whichever e-learning platform you might have downloaded the material from, it's the same material.
Yeah, Truman, I think that's a very good question that Notando asked. If I had to just maybe unpack it a little, okay. So in terms of the memo, so when the exam question goes out, and then the memo against which obviously the lecturers mark, okay. The memo, is that done in alignment with the workbook that the students are working, or is it, when we're marking the students, are we using this specific book on Teachable as the memo, or are we using broad-based supply chain?
It's specifically linked to the prescribed material. Nothing outside the what is provided through the e-learning platform, or however you might have received the material. So it's specifically linked to that.
All right, now that's a good answer. I'll tell you why. Then my response to Notanda would be, I think, for all intents and purposes, to do well in the exams, you might as well stick to the prescribed textbook on the Teachable, but notwithstanding that, for future learning, for further development, to sort of use these resources that you will send out, but I think for the exam specifically, maybe use the Teachable references. Perfect. So I think, guys, it's exactly 1:45 on the Saturday. Thank you for your engagement. Thank you for attending today's lessons. And yeah, Truman, is this the last one for this group?
Yes, for this module. For this module,
yeah, for this module.
Certainly the last one. So up next is going to be the warehousing module. So the timetable is available. Nothing has changed according to my knowledge. It's still the same. The exams will be starting on the 17th of July. So again, maybe just to extend the opportunity, anyone that might be struggling with accessing the material or even the e-learning platform, please do come forward. We've had instances where I'm really not sure what's happening, where students are either not able to access the e-learning platform, but they just keep quiet until such time that maybe there's a submission due or there's you know, an exam coming up, and then they start asking all these questions. How do I access the e-learning material? Where do I get this? Where do I get that? So please do feel free to reach out, whether via email or through, you know, the WhatsApp line. It is available 24/7. We do at the very least try to respond within 24 hours. But also you can call through the 087-057-6577 number during the week, Monday to Friday, 8 to 4, if you need anything. On my side, Silan, that'll be it. Wishing everyone all the very best. Have a great weekend ahead. And once again, Silan, thank you so much for delivering beyond expectations. And I must say, you know, for me, I always say this, I know it might be a biased opinion, but supply chain is the new entrepreneurship. You know, if you really get to grasp everything that we're going to be covering throughout the year, you'd realize that supply chain is the heart of business. Whether in procurement, you must know that you are the guardian of the enterprises of, you know, whatever business that you are part of. But also, even if you are, wherever you find yourself in supply chain, you might be in the logistics part of supply chain. Guess what? You are serving a very important aspect of any organization to make sure that they get to deliver whatever product or service to their customers, to their clients. If you're part of procurement, again, you know, if you say you're buying raw materials, whatever you're procuring, you need to know and understand that you are playing a critical role because production depends on you. So the manufacturing team, if they've got anything that they need, yes, there's always that competition. Maybe it's good competition, but sometimes it gets to a nasty level where people start comparing who's better than who, which department is more critical than who. But how we look at it, we're all part of a supply chain. So there shouldn't be that segregation. There shouldn't be any competition. We should collaborate even as internal teams, whether in procurement or logistics. You don't view yourself as inferior or less important to whichever department. Always have that thing in mind to say you are at the heart of that organization. So if that's the kind of mindset, you know, I don't care how terrible the environment that you find yourself might be, you know, in whatever aspect. I don't care in terms of the role, the type of role that you might find yourself compared to what you're aspiring towards. If that's the kind of mindset and you really make it a point that you focus on the why, like Silan said earlier, we've had a lot of institutions, and you all know this, it's common throughout the world, but just confining it to supply chain specifically, supply chain studies, you'd find a lot of courses, a lot of programs, they would focus more on the what and how, and we seem to forget the why part. So always ask yourself, why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you there in that particular role? What purpose do you serve as an individual, as a team, as an organization, in a broader scheme of things? The moment you are able to answer that question, no matter how difficult the journey might get, you will always come out victorious. So from me, I would like to leave it at that. That's my parting shot. And yeah, back to you, Silen. And have a great weekend, everybody.
Wonderful. Thank you, Truman. Thank you. Guys, all the best. Have a wonderful weekend. Yes, sorry.
Before you go, I wanted to ask, is there the previous question papers that are shared with the student to use as some kind of a revision papers for exams?
Truman?
Yeah, yes, there are. So these are available. Maybe what we'll do, Silen, with the I'm just thinking whether we include it when they're issuing the results for the assignment. Maybe they can include the past papers as well. I did hear, I think it was Andre, did mention earlier that he did receive some. So I would suggest, if you haven't seen these past papers, just request them from this email. I'm just gonna drop it here in the chat, but it's the same email that you use for your assignments. Just drop us an email, request the past papers, but also what we may have to do. I think I did promise Andre earlier that we're also going to include the link to the revision sessions, because I know people, the reason why they're requesting past papers, it's for revision purposes. So we might as well include the recordings of the revisions. I know we are going to have dedicated sessions, but for those that perhaps want to be proactive, we'll just include the revision recording from last year's revision, because nothing has changed in terms of the exam structure. And yeah, then we can also include a couple of past exam papers. I'm glad this is also recorded so that, it would serve as a reminder for me as well when we meet with the team during the week.
Thank you, Truman. Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you, guys. See you guys.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Okay, thank you,
everybody.
everyone.
All right, cheers. Bye.